Hey guys, so I'm here with an amazing friend of ours, the founder of Ressence, Mr. Benoît Mintiens. How are you, sir?
Good. Hello.
I gotta say, I don't know whether you remember the very first time I met you when you launched the Type 3 EE. Right,
Yes.
that's when actually I first met you and interviewed you, in front
wow.
of I think it's in one of those hotels in Geneva. I remember this.
Possible. Yeah.
Possible, right?
Yeah.
And you are actually my first founder and CEO that I interviewed.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
2023. 2023 Geneva Watch Days.
Yeah, wow.
So
Well, you're still doing it, so it was.
yeah, I'm still doing it. But I gotta say, man, one thing that is very different from the rest of the people that I interviewed, unfortunately, is that you are so like kind and easy to interview.
Thank you.
For me, because you gotta understand, this is my first time.
Yeah.
Very, very
You
first
were
time.
nervous.
Of course, I was, but you made it better. So
Okay. Good. All right.
But anyway, we are here to. This year is a very special year for us, and both of us actually. Revolution is celebrating our 20th year anniversary this year. But incidentally, Ressence is celebrating 15 years anniversary.
Yes.
So it's amazing. I mean, 15 years since 2010.
Yep.
Right in Basel, right, when you launched
Basel
your,
World.
I think is it the Type 0?
Yeah. 0 series.
Right.
But it was
exactly.
not even the 0 series. It were prototypes of the 0 series.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was even before that.
So tell me a little bit about the journey,
Yeah.
for Ressence in general.
In 15 years.
Yes.
In
Yeah.
5 seconds.
10 seconds. I
10.
mean. Yeah, but tell me a little bit more about the different, today we have the Ressence Type 9, right? But we go back to the very first one, the Type 0, if you want to go there.
It's called 0 series. And it comes from the industrial logics that a first batch of something that you produce, for example, cars, you make a new model and you test run the factory, and they call it the 0 series.
Interesting.
That's why I called it the 0 series,
Ah.
because for us it was our test run, the first watches that we did. And then we did series 1. It was a new batch, but quite close still, with a few modifications from a functional point of view.
Interesting. So that is still the 0 version.
Yeah, it still had a crown.
Oh,
The
yes.
series had a crown.
I see.
Yeah, it was. And then I moved to Type 3, so it was a big step. And then Type 1, Type 5, then on and on and on. So we filled up the whole portfolio in all these years. Moving to products that are more complex often, or less complex, with also new animations, new functionalities, etc. So yeah, we are developing the portfolio in all these years.
That's amazing. So one thing about Ressence is that the type numbers that is not chronological order, right?
Yeah.
For me, in the beginning, I always thought that because I'm much younger, right? So when I came in, you already launched the type. The first one I saw was a Type 3 EE.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, I always thought that Ressence was launched chronologically. Type 1, Type 2.
No.
Then I realized, it's not.
It's not.
Yeah. What's the reason behind that? Is it just
Because when you create a brand, certainly in the beginning, you don't know where it's going to lead you. You have no idea. You have not. Would I have known that I would do a Type 2 one day? Yeah, maybe I would have done the chronology differently, but you don't know that.
Oh,
I don't know the model I will do in 5 years. I have no idea. So I cannot decide today which number I will give, because I don't know which one I will have in 5 years.
that's a really interesting thing.
So it's not so simple to do it. I try to have a little bit of logics in it, but in the end, it's just not possible. It's not possible. So
I see.
you'll have to just stick to a number, and it's gonna be that number.
Wow, man.
It's not like BMW. Yeah, we have 3, 5, 7.
Exactly, that's what I thought, but it's not.
I also,
Right.
that was the idea, but
I
in
see.
the end, you don't know that you'll do a 7 before that. You do a 3, and then you do a 5.
Oh
and then
my God. Okay.
So it's going always, and yeah, because growing a brand is also something organic. You go a certain path, and then you see that this is an option, but you didn't think of that unless you get there. You see, it's an organic way, and it's hard to predict what you will have in the future. The market is changing, you are changing, production is changing, clients are changing, everything is evolving all the time. So knowing exactly what you'll do in 5 years from now. I know it 3. I know quite precisely what we're going to do. But in 5 years, maybe we will have an idea that we will do then 2 or 3 years later.
That actually helps me to understand
Yeah.
a lot more about your thought process, behind these
Yeah.
watches. And to be honest, a lot of these watches are actually, I would say, world first. Because
Yeah.
let's talk about the first watch they created, the Type 3.
Yes.
We do have one here. This is launched 2 years ago. I remember because this was the first watch that I interviewed Benoît with. This is the Type 3 double E, right? The eucalyptus, we call it eucalyptus, right?
Eucalyptus, yeah.
Yeah, so this piece itself, the Type 3, is also the very first wristwatch that features a oil-filled display.
Yeah.
Right, so tell me a little bit more about the Type 3 in general, the
Type 3,
inception of it.
The Type 3. So the Type 3 in general, the idea behind the watch is that it's a watch that is inspired by the fact that our DNA is driven by industrial design more than by watchmaking. And as an industrial designer, you want to make sure that the function of the products that you make are the core of what you do. I'll translate that in another way, is to say that the reason why you make a product is because of its function. If a product does not have a good function, why do you have that product then? See, so a product has only relevance thanks to the function it executes. And when it comes to a watch, seen from the eyes of an industrial designer, not from the eyes of a watchmaker, the most important aspect of a watch is to show the time. And to do that in a most pure and simple way. And so with the Type 3, we got to a point, certainly with the black versions, where all the material side, so the fact that you can indicate this is a part, is completely gone to become a kind of screen. By the way, many people think they think it's a digital watch.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm sorry. That's what I thought, because it
very
looks like
often
it.
people say that. But the idea is a bit the same, is to say we take away everything that would detract you from the fact that this is a tool to express time. And if you do that in a good way, actually you try to take away also the fact it's a mechanical thing. You take away the fact that it's visually, you take away all the things that could distract you from the main function being the expression of time.
That's amazing.
And so the Type 3, by having the oil inside, and certainly in a black dial, you could reach that vision that we had for Ressence in nearly there. And what is also very interesting on the Type 3, I think it's the only watch where the dial surface is bigger than the watch case.
Yeah,
because
exactly
you have information also on the sides. So, and this is also pure ergonomics. The bigger the surface, the more readable it is.
Yes.
So it's all very much, to understand Ressence, it's very often driven by ergonomics. It's not so sexy, but ergonomics, yeah, the result is nice. But the idea behind it is really to say, how can we improve the relationship between you and the watch? And to do so, one of the things is to think about how easy is it to read? Because the better a watch is in its function to show the time, I think the better your relationship will be with that watch.
Yeah, that's right. Because that is the most fundamental function of what a watch is. I know now, watches are, they're emotional companions or whatever.
Yeah.
But end of the day, watches tells time. That's the most important thing about
a
watch.
Companion. As humans, we tend to relate to products like we relate to other people. And I believe that a friend, you will have a stronger bond with your friend if this relation is meaningful. And for a watch, it's the same. If the relation with your watch is, how do you get the relation meaningful with a watch? It's by being comfortable, by being ergonomically well thought, by being clear to what it's meant to be. And for us, that means be readable in a proper way, easy to read. But you have most examples are different. Huh? So it's not like we are better or something. We just have another vision on where we have to put the accent when we design products. Actually, we design the relationship first, then we design the watch.
Wow.
It's a very important aspect. You know, we have a little hand as a logo.
Yes.
It also
right.
symbolizes this relationship. You know, it's a hand, a reach out hand, the logo of Ressence. It's really this core idea that a watch is something. It's a service provider. It's and it's a service towards a functionality that is to express the time. So it's really this relationship is very at the core of everything we do.
That's amazing, man. And one of the things that most people recognize Ressence for is actually this is Type 3 is also, other than being the first oil-filled display mechanical watch, it also features no crown.
Yes.
You know, everything is basically what you said, functional, very symmetrical, very ergonomic.
Yep.
And why do you go for this kind of yes, I know that you are an industrial designer, right? Yes, you're very you understand minimalism and all that kind of stuff, but you know, no crowns.
Well, the
What's
crown,
the reason for that?
Well, the crown basically is typically something that comes from the past. A crown is a solution that we, since always is there. No one asks the question, but if you're honest and you really are critical, because your job as a designer is to be critical, is always to challenge the status and see, okay, can we improve this situation? And if you look at the crown, actually, yes, there's a lot to improve because a crown is not ergonomical.
Yes.
From a user point of view and from a comfort point of view. So how do you improve that? Well, by making it, first of all, bigger, scale of fingers, not scale of children fingers.
Yes, that's right.
Make it one. I mean with that what you do with by turning should immediately appear on the dial. So with the system that we have at Ressence now is that the back case rotates, and what you do, if you turn 20 degrees with the back case, you will have turned 20 degrees with the minute hand. So there is a 1-1 relation.
So direct correlation.
It's a direct,
wow,
there's a direct relation between the two things that you do. So it's all these, let's say, dimensions that we apply to a fine watch, basically, but they all come from the logics of industrial design.
Got it. Wow, that's amazing.
So that's why there's no crown, and there's a little cherry on the cake is that you get a watch that is left and right.
Exactly.
There's no side anymore.
Perfect symmetry, I would say.
Perfect symmetry, and you'll see that we move away a little bit from it, but you'll see the first watch, so the zero series, is symmetrical in all directions. So the watch was designed in such a way that the crown can even be changed side after you bought the watch.
Really?
Yeah, you can still invert it. Yeah, you can still invert it. So it's a watch that is left, right, top, bottom, and in half. If you look at it from the side, top and bottom is the same also.
Wow.
So it's a completely symmetrical watch.
I gotta check that out.
I moved away because now the lugs, they go a bit down,
Yeah.
so then you don't have this symmetry anymore.
Yeah. But it's still cool.
And, we move on and we become more and more a watchmaking brand too. So from that point of view, we also adapt typically the Type 9 here.
Yes,
See,
exactly.
there are lugs on it like a traditional watch. So we go more and more for certain products. We take over the codes from fine watchmaking. It's not that we are very narrow thinkers. We are also in an environment of fine watchmaking.
Yeah,
we have our DNA, but that doesn't mean you cannot dress like
exactly.
You cannot dress like a fine watch.
You know what? I think that's very true for Ressence today. You know, the watchmaking aspects of it is still very present. It's much more present now than maybe I would say the earlier ones.
True.
You know, and you know, oil-filled displays is it's quite exclusive. It's quite interesting to it's quite a unique angle to your brand. But you do also have watches that doesn't have that oil-filled display as well.
Half is with oil, but the other half is with air.
Air, right? Yeah, let's talk about that. So I want to talk about this This is one of the most, I would say, the most popular restaurants. We have a lot of collectors and a lot of watch enthusiasts that actually owns
Type
either
1,
one of the case. So I'll let Benoît explain. So this is a Type 1, the very, we call it what? The Type 1 square, is it?
This is the square.
Right? The Type 1 square. So tell me a little bit more, air. Tell me a little bit more about that. Instead of oil, this is air.
This is air-filled, like any other watch, basically. It's Swiss Air, by the way, if you want to. It is, so we have Type 1 is our, let's say, sometimes I dare to call it our Golf, our Volkswagen Golf. You know?
Okay.
It's the watch that does it all. It has the DNA of Ressence, but it's dressed like a more classic watch, certainly for this one with a squared case. But on the inside, it's the core. The core of it is really a Ressence. So you have the different functionalities like hour, minutes, seconds, but you have a weekday indication on that watch. No crown. Crown is on the back side with a lever, and case. So we have two cases. So Type 1 is the system, is the mechanics, and then you have the round Type 1 and the square Type 1. This one is the squared one with a pillowcase, so gives it a very classic feel to it. It is also very classic, but from far away it looks like a very classical watch. But of course, when you look at it closely, you'll notice that there's no hands on it. So it's a bit different. Case, like all our watches, they're in titanium. So the weight is still quite light. And it's a 41 millimeter case for the squared one.
Yeah, but now you have this kind of overhanging hinge lugs. You know, it's very interesting. The lugs are really short. You know, a cushion case normally wears a lot larger, but this one with this kind of ergonomics, it's really great on even a small wrist like mine. You know, look at that. Still within the wrist proportion. And
it's because nothing sticks out. You know, the crown on any watch, the crown will make the watch look bigger.
Yes.
It's a visual impression. So by not having the crown and by not having very present lugs, visually the watch reduces. And,
interesting.
It's a bit a problem for us because when we say this watch is 41, people, 41, that's already big. But put it on your wrist, you'll see it feels like a 39. So
it does.
It has a big impact on the...
So don't always trust the numbers. You know, sometimes it's really about the design of the case. You got to
Just
try it on your wrist.
Yeah, you have to
exactly.
try it. You have to try it.
So the Type 1 now, of course, the classic, this is the square case, and now you also have the round case.
Yep.
I want to move on to...
go.
I want to move on to something that is really interesting. I think I would say that it's a continuation of the Type 3.
Yeah.
It is the second oil-filled display watch.
Yeah.
Slightly bigger now, slightly more complicated now. This is the Type 5.
Type 5.
So tell me a little bit more about the Type 5.
So the Type 5 is a real diver watch.
Yes.
Means it has been ISO certified as a diver watch. It has the rotating bezel. It is a watch that was inspired by nature in its shape. So when you look at the section of the watch, you see it's tapered. And the idea is that when you wear it on a neoprene suit, diving suit, the watch integrates into the suit. And because of the tapered angle, when you swim, and you cannot get, there's not a rope or something that you would stick to and that your arm is, so it slides over. So the idea is really to have a shape that will not be dangerous when you swim, you know.
Wow, okay.
It's something very scary when you dive, and certainly for people, for example, they go in wrecks. So how do you call it?
Shipwrecks.
Shipwrecks.
Yeah, those are really incidentally very dangerous.
They're dangerous, and you always have to make sure that there's nothing that gets stuck.
No obstacle.
No obstacles and gets stuck in your arm and you're stuck. So the idea was really to say, okay, let's make it very smooth, tapered, smooth shape. The lugs are inspired by the sea turtles, so they have these fins, the shape of the fins of sea turtles. Okay. So this watch was really inspired by nature.
Basically.
Yeah, by nature.
This is the shell.
Yeah, this is the shell of the turtle. So it was also a tough project because I really wanted to have it ISO certified. But when you look at the watch, it's not a block of stainless
Yeah.
steel. It's a titanium watch with a lot of surface of sapphire on it. So the glass is very, very thick on the Type 5. You don't see it because of the oil. It's gone. You don't see the thickness. But it is a very, very thick sapphire because of the shock, the impact test that they do for diver watches.
I see. And then I know that this is oil fuel and oil does reacts to pressure.
Yes.
So when you go down underwater, let's say how much water resistant does this?
This
the
one
Type 5
has
have?
been certified for 100 meters.
100 meters.
Yeah.
So
But anyway, you
100
cannot
meters
go
is-
deeper as a
Exactly.
human. So
Yeah. So when you go into 100 meters, you're talking about some mixed gases, right?
well, no one. Well, normal. Well, you really have to be an extreme diver to do that. It's fine. You know, we very often. Just a side note, but very often people ask me, when are you going to do a minute repeater, for example?
Got it.
I always have a simple reply that at Ressence, we will always have one question: do I need this function at least once a week? If not,
It's not
we
in
will
your
we will
wheelhouse.
not have it.
Interesting.
So it's really the idea is to say, okay, this is a function that you really need. You need it nearly on a daily basis, or at least once a week. Then it's fine. And so also for here, we would also think, okay, how often do you go deeper than 100 meters?
No,
No
not at
one
all.
does it. So why would I need to make the watch so much more complicated for something you will never do?
I like that.
And that's the logics that we follow. So we could have made it a 500-meter deep watch if
Yeah, you
we
could.
want to.
Yeah.
It would have looked even bigger. It would have looked more like a block of steel because it needs to withstand all these pressures. But then why would you do it? So it is really this approach that we have that is a bit more pragmatical, I would say. Okay, it's cool to say, well, my watch can go 1,000 meters, but you will never do it.
Got it.
So
It doesn't go along your logic.
I think it's more a marketing thing than a real reason. And okay, they sell them, so
I love it,
there
man.
must be a good reason. But
Watchmaking and design with reason. I love that about Ressence.
Yeah,
I
we
think
try to
it's
do
really pragmatic and practical
you
reasons.
you
and
have
that's
to.
what you focus
I think,
on.
Yes. So the Type 5 was a tough cookie because of these tests that we had to go through. We crashed quite some pieces before we had find all the different.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's terrible because it's the first pieces you get, the prototypes, and then you like it? Okay, now we test it, and then it comes back
Oh my God!
exploded. So it's it's a bit painful.
Oh well, I mean these are the things you go through, get ISO
Yeah,
certification.
yeah,
so
yeah, it's
because they are quite hard on these watches.
It's
because
very tough, huh?
it's a life-saving tool,
Yeah.
so it's very important to have that.
It's considered a life-saving tool,
Yes, exactly.
so it has to withstand. The toughest one is the impact test, not because of the sapphire or the case, but the fact that, as it is oil-filled, the technology that we have is that there is still a pocket of air for the escapement part of the watch. Escapement cannot run in a liquid, so it had to be in air, and the transmission is magnetic. And so the dial, the position of the dial is kept in position by magnets. And so, well, these magnets are very small, and so with a big impact, this could disconnect.
Yeah,
so we
that's
had to
right.
find a way also to avoid this disconnection. And that was also a tough one. So we had to invent a system that we call the shock absorber. Basically, what it does is it stabilizes the module thanks to the oil. So it is applying the viscosity of the oil to keep it stable when there is a shock. Because the test says after impact, the watch should run, should be on time, and there should not be any visual impact, meaning the glass should not
Got
be
it.
broken.
Yeah.
Well, if you have to have these three parameters, it's
Dude,
so you have to develop something.
Oh wow!
That's why diver watches look like they look. They have the bezel that is very big.
Yeah.
There's steel all over. The glass is generally completely flat.
Yeah.
Because of the impact, it will impact the metal, not the glass. They're designed to withstand the test. They're not.
It makes more sense to design like that.
Yeah.
That's why all diving watches are like that.
And so what we try to do is to have. So why did we do a diver watch first of all? Why would we do it?
Why actually?
Why would we do a diver watch?
Why are you doing a diving watch? Sorry, I think we need to go back and ask
because
the
that
most
was
private reason.
why? Because we went through all this misery. Why? And the reason is very, very important. It's because by having oil in a diver watch, you suddenly have a watch that is actually readable underwater.
Okay.
Go underwater with any other watch with air inside. What are all the other mechanical watches who are air filled? You'll end up with a mirror underwater. You go swimming with your watch.
Oh yes.
You have a mirror.
That's right.
So you have to turn it really straight on.
Exactly.
To say something blurry.
Yes.
To see something blurry. But if it's a watch that is life-saving, as they say, well, you have to make sure it's perfectly readable.
At any angle.
At any angle,
Got
at
it.
any time, at any
Wow,
position.
okay.
So I believe that the test does not include that.
No,
the
I'm
readability
sure
is not. It's not in the test. But I believe that that's the main reason why you have a watch underwater is to see, okay, how are my bottles? So being able to read it really properly is, in my opinion, the most important aspect of a diver watch, and no one cares about it.
Interesting. Yeah.
So having the oil inside improves the functionality, and when it improves the functionality, in my opinion, it has a reason, it's meaningful, and that's why we decided to make a diver watch.
Wow.
Yeah, so
okay.
it's again, it's always driven, everything we do is driven by this idea that we improve something.
Damn. Okay. Wow. I didn't know that. You know, it's interesting because I own so many dive watches, but I have never. But anyway, I don't really dive. So
No,
that's the problem.
Most people don't.
That's
they
amazing.
look nice. They look nice.
But they look nice.
They look
yeah,
nice.
Utilitarian. But this is really interesting, man. This is a like a utilitarian tool done in a way that's so different. You know, and there's a strong reason behind why you are doing this.
Yeah.
So I think I guess that's Ressence DNA, man.
That's our DNA, indeed. Yeah, you well defined it. Yes.
Yeah. Very cool, man. So
Thank
the Type
you.
5.
Yeah.
And next we go into something I just saw, I think, this year, earlier this year. Right? You launched the very first two things. GMT and also a integrated bracelet sports cheek watch.
Sure.
The very first for Ressence. We are talking about the Type 7.
Correct.
Right? Tell me a little bit more about this.
All right. So the Type 7 is indeed. So you see that here the codes that we use are very much watchmaking codes. Integrated bracelet, a shape that is like 70s shape.
Yes.
Very tooly. So we consider it also as our tool watch. The idea there, the philosophy behind this watch was really, if you can go there, your watch will follow you.
Okay.
You can forget that you wear this watch. You will never have to think, oh, my watch. No. If you can go there, your watch will follow.
Okay.
That was the philosophy of this Type 7. Whereas, for example, even a Type 3 or a Type 5, there are some situations where you say, okay, be careful because, for example, the strap, the bracelet is in leather, whatever. Yeah. So really, this idea was to say, okay, this is just a ruggedized, tough watch that you can take anywhere in the water, not in the water.
Anywhere,
travel,
literally, like
and travel, because the GMT function in that watch is really to say, okay, when you travel, also don't worry, there is a second time zone on it. You can just know where the time where you used to live or whatever. So it's really this idea that it's just a watch that can accompany you everywhere.
So it's a rugged, utilitarian sports watch version of a Ressence watch.
Yep.
But it comes with a GMT. It comes with a whole Grade 5 titanium bracelet.
Yep.
You know, it's literally a watch. Like what you said, it's a perfect companion anywhere you want to go.
Yeah,
Water,
everywhere.
air, anywhere, right? And I gotta say, man,
And
Type
it's in
7,
titanium, so everything is in titanium.
it's light, it's easy to wear, ergonomic, friendly. You know, without a crown, it's oh my god, look at that!
Yeah,
It's a perfect
41,
symmetrical
41,
integrated sports cheek watch.
Yeah.
But it doesn't wear like 41, man. I don't feel it.
No.
It's amazing on the wrist. And I gotta say, you know, I am a big fan of the 70s
You are.
watches. But I must say this might be one of my favorite design from you because
you.
it's something that is so, like I understand Ressence has a very strong design angle and a very specific design DNA.
Yep.
And some people like it, some people doesn't. It's fine. It's like all watches.
That's normal.
But I think Type 7, it's like a open gate for new collectors or even seasoned collectors that's wanting something new, and it's easily accepted by collectors. And I can see that because first thing is so functional, it's so utilitarian, it's easy to digest the design, and a GMT function that's practical.
It's practical.
So I think
and it's oil filled.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's very capable. It can go underwater, everything, and it's a full titanium watch. Even the dial is titanium on this watch.
Oh, the dial itself.
The blue parts that you see are titanium. The bezel is ceramics on the blue one, but all the rest is titanium parts. It's valid for all our watches. It's
amazing.
The green dial here is also titanium. Yeah, it's also titanium. So it's I think it's a watch that is at the crossroad of many things. It's really very comfortable watch also.
Really, I love this. I think this is one.
It has also a
micro adjuster, so you can just press it and then you can just push it however you want, and then it locks into place just at the buckle.
Yeah.
It's just a great day-to-day watch, and being in titanium, honestly, integrated sports chic watch is all about first readability, second is really ergonomic on the wrist to feel comfortable. Yeah. Because you buy this style of watches anywhere and you will wear it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think that's literally what you need for a watch. And I think this is done really tastefully and it's done really well.
Thank you.
When I saw this year, I was like, wow, man, this is awesome. And I thought this was your 15-year celebration piece.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that this should be one of the highlights, but it's definitely one of the highlights, but there's more.
There's more.
There's more that's coming, but I'm not going to say anything here. So, okay, the Type 7. I love this watch. Now we move on to something that's a little bit more classy. I'm going to put it on. I like this watch.
Leave it on.
I'll put it on. So we go into the Type 8.
Yes.
Right. So after, the Type 3, the Type 5, the Type 7, and the Type 1, right? All this, having multiple functions, multiple display on the dial, you go back to Type 8, which is a really minimalist display just with hours and minutes.
Correct.
So tell me a little bit more about the inspiration of Type 8
Type
in
8.
general. Yeah.
So the Type 8 in general, so not particularly this special edition.
Oh, by the way, yes, this piece is not there's a regular Type 8, but this is a limited edition. This is the the DE1, which is a collaboration with Daniel Engelberg. Yes, there's another DE2 is in turquoise, but
same idea.
we'll just put it here. The pictures will be here.
Same idea.
Yeah. So same idea, but this is the base. Is the Type 8. Yes.
Yeah. So the Type 8 is a full titanium watch, full ball bearing also. So the technology that we have to display the time, all the discs are running on ball bearings. Where, for example, the early version, for example, Type 1, the discs, you don't see it on the outside, but the discs are running on traditional bridges with jewels. Here it's replaced by ball bearings, and that allows us to reduce the thickness of the module, of the ROX module as we call it. So that's the way we represent the time.
Right? The pattern,
the pattern
technology
system.
that we have. Yeah.
So by having the ball bearings, we can reduce it by half.
Oh,
and when you reduce it by half, you can do two things, or you can make a thinner watch, or you can make a thinner watch that is also smaller because you keep the proportions. So this allows you to explore new territories. Ball bearings also have the advantage that you don't have to oil them because they run dry.
Yes.
And that is also one of the reasons why you have to service a watch is because of the oil that dries out.
Got it.
So having everything on ball bearings also an advantage from a technical point of view. So there are a few things, and why did no one do it? Because it's more complicated to produce.
For sure.
The balls are jewel balls, 0.6 millimeters. They're really, really small. Precision is to the micron. I'm not going to go too much in details on technicity, but it is a very it requires very high precision in the milling, in the making of the components.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So Type 8, basically the philosophy was to have a very minimal watch. Also for us to have to allow a lower entry price. By reducing the number of components inside, because in the end a Ressence You can do the maths, but you will see if you divide the number of components by the price, you'll always end up around the same number.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's because we don't have marketing prices; we have real price because of the cost of the components.
Got it.
And usually, a watch with more components takes more time to assemble, so it's all related. And so, yes, we really try to reduce as much as we could without giving away the DNA of the brand. The technicity of the watch, and make sure it was a very simple product. It's still twice the amount of components of a normal three-hand watch.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
But still, for us, it's a very
more
between
like
brackets simple watch.
Okay, so it's like a simpler version of what you normally do.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But this is
but still
finally
very
a very
complicated,
smaller size as well, right?
Well, that looks small, but it isn't. So
Really?
this is a 43 millimeter watch.
Really?
Yes, yeah, and it's because of the shape of the case. Huh? So because it's very, very tapered. Actually, it's a tennis ball. The radius, the dial is a tennis ball radius.
Okay.
Yeah. To have an idea about how round is it.
Got it. Yeah.
So for people to understand. And so yes, it is this idea is to have this rounded shape. Like
And
that.
luckless as well, so super ergonomic.
Yeah.
No lugs.
No
just
legs,
just the
no
case.
legs, no legs, no
43. I can't imagine. When I
Yeah.
put it on, I thought it was a 39.
Yeah, no, it's really
Amazing.
43. Yeah,
Very, very cool. And I like about Type 8 itself, like this piece in general, the Daniel Engelberg piece.
so it's a collaboration.
Yeah, it's a collaboration pieces of just 40 piece each on two different colors, DE1 and
Sure,
D2.
yeah.
But I gotta say, Ressence has always been very minimalistic, like what you said, very industrial, very minimalistic. But this piece showed me what kind of collaboration is possible on Ressence.
Yeah.
Like I feel that our Ressence watches are great blank canvas.
Yeah,
And you literally can do a lot, and because of the very unique display that you have, with
Yeah.
your watches, it's some of this collaboration is quite unreal, to be honest. And I would say that this is one of them, using the concentric circles.
Yeah.
I love this look.
what we are happy is that what we offer to artists is a fourth dimension, whereas a normal dial is a fixed element or a painting is a fixed thing.
Yes.
Whereas we offer them a moving dial, and yeah, for artists, okay, they have to do the little exercise to say, okay, how will my work evolve in time on that dial? But yeah, I think on the Engelberg version, it works really well, and it becomes an intriguing.
It's an art form.
Movement,
It's a piece of
the art.
Yeah, it's a piece of, you want to call it art form, industrial art, or whatever you want to call it. But
it's
art
art
really
in
cool.
motion.
Art in
It's
motion,
art in motion. But it's something artists appreciate because it's not the first watch we do with an artist.
Yes.
But they all appreciate always to say, okay, yes, so the design will change during the day.
Oh, artists
so
love that.
So I need to think about it.
They love that.
So
it's fun. It's like challenging themselves, to be more creative.
Yeah, because
and I think this really works. I mean, the circles changes, and it feels like an illusion.
And it is when you look it up, Daniel Engelberg on the internet, you'll see that one of his works is nearly a 1:1 translation to the watch.
Like this.
Yes,
Interesting.
It really looks like that.
Wow.
Of course, you don't have the hands, but it's really close to for sure. The colors are coming from him, and the design too, of course.
My God, this is a really beautiful piece. There is another version that is not in pink, but the exterior is in turquoise color. So it's two different versions. 40 pieces each.
Limited.
So Type 8, and then we move on to the newest one that you release. Incidentally, the smallest one.
Yeah.
The Type 9.
Yeah. So the Type 9 was introduced end of 24, November, if I'm not wrong. So the Type 9 is technically based on the Type 8.
Yes.
So technically these watches are the same, but the diameter is a lot less. This is 39 and this is 43.
Can't imagine, man. How would this as a 39, whereas if that 43 feels like a 39,
I'll try it on then.
Let me try it on.
And so also very simple design, very minimalistic, timeless, I believe, at least in my opinion. So full titanium also. Dial is titanium, case, bracelet, not the bracelet, but the case and the back case.
All titanium.
Bezel, everything's titanium.
Very cool. So this is actually your I guess the entry point of.
It is.
Right, after
yeah.
the Type, because the Type 8 was made to be an entry level, but
Yeah.
now this is the
new,
one
the
taking
new-
over the 8,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's amazing, and I also know that you did a 20-piece limited edition with Mark Cho from the Armory.
It is.
So
it is.
that's an amazing piece, and he loves that watch a lot. So gotta
But
congratulate.
it looked
both of you.
also very, very different. You
Yes,
see,
exactly.
It was a project out of my comfort zone. The fluted bezel was something Mark was keen on. And so I said, okay,
It's very vintage inspired.
how will I do that on a Ressence? How would it fit? And to be completely transparent, it is Mark that told me 4 years ago, something like that, "Benoît, you should consider a smaller watch." And so I said, okay, let me think about it. And it was only when we had the technology for the Type 8 that allowed to make thinner watches that we could also make it smaller. Because
Interesting.
if I would do a 39 on a Type 1, it would look like a massive watch.
Got it. Because of the
Yeah.
the module inside, you can't thin that out.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a very blocky watch.
a blocky watch otherwise. So here we could make it very thin, very elegant, thanks to the technology too.
Amazing.
And so we did the Type 9, and then of course Mark was there, and I said, okay, let's do a project. You are the one that pushed me to make a smaller watch.
Amazing. Wow. I didn't know that Mark had some say into this thing.
He has a lot of
Interesting.
influence,
Wow.
apparently.
That's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I love you, Mark. Anyway, it's been a great and amazing 15 years. Benoît, you have done some amazing stuff, and I think that unique voice that you have. I would say in watchmaking, it still is very strong today. None other watches in the industry is like that. Ressence is unique in that matter, and I love that you, other than celebrating artists in terms of having blank canvas and projects to have fun with and have creativity with, but yet you really still focus on function.
Yes, well, we have a vision, and we did a little retrospective with a company in it's called Subdial. I can just say it.
I know
in
that.
London, in London, and so we did 15 years of Ressence with them, and so they had a watch of every generation.
Damn.
It was really nice to see, and there you see, okay, there is a very clear vision from the start. And of course, the watches evolve; they become more refined, more better, or technically more evolved. But the core is there, and this is the whole thing that holds the whole brand. It's this vision, this central vision that we have, and we evolve step by step, to more and more the ideal vision where we want to get. Huh?
Yeah, man, I always love to spend time with you, man. Benoît,
Thank
you're
you.
a very inspiring figure, and congratulations for 15 years.
Thank you,
Hope to
Constant.
see another 15 years, right? Thank you guys so much, right?
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.